Hello, brothers and sisters out there. How are you guys doing today? Today, we're gonna talk about the sea. What is in the sea? Well, crustaceans, fishes, and these creatures that we consume. We consume, to eat. We consume not just to eat, but for sport, which is fishing. You know, um, the sea. To me, the sea to me is very interesting because there's parts of oceans that have different species we haven't even discovered yet, that yet to be discovered. Now let's talk about the book of Genesis, right? Book of Genesis, chapter 1, chapter 20, verse 20 to verse 21. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moved, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Now, Book of Leviticus. Leviticus is an interesting book because it tells us about clean and unclean animals, sea creatures that we are allowed to consume and we cannot consume. It shows us things like how we should treat our body by not marking and piercing our skin. Don't matter if it's to grief for the dead. So let's get to Book of Leviticus, right? Chapter 11. Wow, people. Verse 9 to 12. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination to you. Let's read that back in the beginning, guys, right? These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. So, anything that has fins and anything that has scales, gills, all of that. Fins and scales, as long as it has those two things, you can consume it. That's alright. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. I know in this day and age, seafood, is promoted everywhere. Popeyes, Red Lobster, Golden Corral, the Mandarin, other Chinese restaurants, and so Thai Express, you know, all the Asian and Chinese restaurants, Korean and Japanese restaurants, they promote a lot of seafood. They have stuff from lobsters to shrimp. So let's talk about examples of these that don't have fins and scales. Octopus, squids, shrimp, lobsters, oysters, clams, crabs, prawns, puffer fishes. Let's see examples of of these shrimps. Let's see a list of these, right? Blue crab, soft shell crab, Dungeness crab, mud crab, Maine lobsters, crawfish, even blue lobsters, langostinos, whatever you call them, American white shrimp, tiger shrimps, prawns, sea scallops, Duxbury oysters, Prince Edward Island mussels. Oh, don't forget about mussels as well. Hard shell clams, conches, west and east coast sea urchins. Before I used to eat shrimps and lobsters, oysters and clams and crabs. Wow, it does taste good, especially when it's in garlic butter that's nice, hot, juicy. But did you know that shrimps are high in cholesterol? Did you know that? So it's not really healthy to consume. And you know what they say about potato chips? You cannot have just one. Shrimps are wonderful. See, there's a reason why God was he was imaginary. He was, what's that word to say? He wanted to make different type of sea creatures and land critters and things that fly in the sky for different purposes. Land critters and things that fly. We'll get into that, just like creepy crawlers, but this is all about sea creatures. Now, the Old Testament is old. When Jesus came, the New Testament came, and the old abolished. But we still should follow some things in the Old Testament, in it. Like Italians. I'm half Italian, Pakistani. So Italians, what they do, they get together Christmases, New Year's Eves, and they have seafood, breaded shrimp. They have lobsters, oysters, and that's how they do it. But amen. It says we are not to judge people who are to eat. But hey, you eat what you want to eat. I'm just here telling you guys what, right?